This is Mike Corey from ESPN, and you're listening to the Sports Objective Podcast, the unofficial podcast of the Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down of my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode. From the sidelines down to the post, put it down like not even close. All out to the last whistle blow. From the flag with the soul and crossbones. Everybody stand up.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Sports Objective. We appreciate you tuning in, however and whenever you're listening to the show. Remember, you can find us on most any podcast platform. Plus, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as we're closing in on 500 subscribers on that platform. Today, we're talking bowl season. Obviously, things get underway on Friday, December 17th, and one of the first games of the bowl season is on Saturday as the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl is taking place down at FAU Stadium. And right now, to preview that matchup, very excited to welcome back into the show the play-by-play voice of App State football, Adam Witten. Adam, how are things?
Man, we're great. We're just hanging out here in sunny Florida. It's been 80 degrees all week. And when you come from Boone, North Carolina in December, when you can wear shorts and a T-shirt and have to put sunscreen on at practice, that's a good thing.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. Can't argue with 80 degrees and everything that the Mountaineers are currently experiencing down there in South Florida. Before we really dive into this matchup between the Mountaineers and the Hilltoppers, let's just kind of put a bow on the 2021 season. Obviously, an excellent 10-3 season. Came up just short, and an attempt to win the Sun Belt title, falling to Louisiana in a very competitive game, a rematch of a game that had taken place down in Louisiana early in the season. But tremendous year for the Mountaineers, and I think one of the things, I think it's a kind of a vocal minority, but some folks have become spoiled with the type of success that Sean Clark and this program has had in recent years.
Yeah, it's something where we said this at the end of our post-game show as the Mountaineers were going to fall to Louisiana in the Sun Belt Championship game. We said, people are going to be angry and people are going to be disappointed and frustrated because it's a championship. And when you lose that opportunity, when it's one of your main goals as a program and you don't accomplish it, yeah, you're frustrated and you're mad. You have all these emotions that happen in the heat of the moment. But we said, hey, after 24 hours, when that all subsides, it's really important to keep perspective on just what this program actually accomplished and how lucky we are to be talking about the fact that even in a year where we didn't feel like we reached our potential, you still end up winning 10 games and you had some incredible moments this season. And, App won 10 games for 5 of the last 7 years now. And that's nothing to sneeze at, that you get to a conference championship game and you win double-digit games and you're playing in another bowl game. I mean, let's not take that for granted, because at this level of college football, and look, I mean, you've seen it with East Carolina over the years, and a lot of G5 programs have seen this. When you have transition and coaching changes, whether it's at the head coaching level or the coordinator level, to maintain that success and not have any drop-off is really challenging. And so the fact that App's been able to keep 9 or 10 wins every year and go to bowl games and win bowl games, and they're playing for championships. You're not going to win them all, but if you're competing for championships every year, that's all you can ask for. Be playing meaningful games at the end of the season, meaningful regular season games, conference championship games, bowl games. So, yeah, it's Coach Clark just got a 2-year extension onto his contract, well deserved. And I think when you look at it and see just what this program has done in his 2 years, with one of them being a COVID year in his very first year as a head football coach, the fact that they've been able to keep this going the way that they have, even though there hasn't been a conference championship to put on the trophy case over the last 2 years, I think it's still very impressive what this program has done.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very well-earned pay raise and extension for Sean Clark, the second-year head coach of the Mountaineers. And just talk about, you referenced the bowl streak, even though we did not discuss that specifically, 7 consecutive bowl wins if they can pick up this victory on Saturday against WKU.
It's a big deal. Bowl wins are important to this program because it's a postseason game. It's a trophy. It's an accomplishment. You hang a banner for winning bowl games. And, look, I mean, I don't, we, it sounds maybe cocky to say this, but we haven't experienced what it's like to come to these bowl games and have fun while you're here and get some really cool experiences, but then leave with a bad taste in your mouth and a disappointing feeling. But I do know how much fun it's been to go into the locker room, get on the bus, get on the plane, go back to the team hotel after the game, after winning that game. It's just such a joyful experience. And you also have 28 seniors on this team that were honored for senior day. And while they won their senior day game at home against Georgia Southern, they didn't win the conference championship. And now this is their last game. Guys like Thomas Hennigan and Bear Hunter and Demetrius Taylor, Caden Smith, guys who have been here for 5-6 years now. And this is it. This is their final game. And they don't want their lasting image, their lasting memory of wearing App State black and gold to be a loss. So this team is going to be very, very motivated and focused to win this game. And that's not always the case for teams playing in bowl games because you do reach a certain point of fatigue at the end of the season. But I can tell you, just because of the way that they want to leave a lasting thumbprint on their careers here, they're going to be highly motivated to try to win this game against Western Kentucky and keep that bowl streak alive, because that's an important thing that App puts in its in its notes and the things that it claims that are positive things for the program.
Very quickly before we dive into this excellent matchup, it features a high-profile passing attack against a very good pass defense for App State. And just tell us, and you were telling me a little bit off the air before we started recording, just kind of the setup there for the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl. I know you're not right there in Boca Raton, but just tell us, what are some of the events the players are going through this week, and maybe what's the swag bag, and that's always a topic of interest.
Yeah, the bowl gifts are always one of the more fun parts about this. And I think the thing that people don't realize that happens even before you do the whole gift suite thing is every year that you go to a bowl game, you do get a bowl bag of gear to wear. And so when the team gets on the plane and they come down to Florida for the first time, they're all wearing these brand new travel suits and shoes, and they get shirts and all sorts and shorts and all sorts of things to wear throughout the week. So they get a brand new bag of Nike gear that they can wear throughout the bowl game. That's branded with the bowl logo. So that's part of it. And then, when they get down here, there was a welcome reception here at the hotel with dinner and hanging out by the pool. And so, when you come to these games, especially in Florida, warm weather climates, you're staying in a nice hotel. You're staying close to the coast. We're not on the beach. We're actually staying in Palm Beach Gardens, but we're close enough to the beach. You're 10, 15 minutes away. There's a pool out here. There's a players lounge where they can hang out. There's a lounge for the staff and coaches to be able to hang out after hours. And you're close to some cool things. There's shuttle buses that go toward some of the nightlife where they can go and have dinner and, do whatever they want. They get late curfews during the week. So they do get a chance to have fun while they're here. But they're all ready to go for practice the next morning. They spent a day on the beach yesterday. They went to a beach resort and they had cornhole, and they had all sorts of beach games, ladder golf, buffet for dinner. I saw one of the most intense games of beach volleyball I've ever seen, with players cycling in and out of that. That was super fun to watch yesterday out at the beach. So, they're doing some fun stuff, but they're also doing their normal meetings, their normal practice schedule. Nothing changes in terms of their game prep. It's nice that instead of during their downtime, they're having to go to class and study and do things on campus. They get to spend their time, hanging out, having fun, what a lot of people like to do if they're on a trip to Florida. So, but, again, just being able to walk outside, always wearing t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops, that's a pretty cool thing for them to do for several days.
Heard an excellent interview here in the last few days from the Black and Gold podcast. Those guys sat down with Doug Gillen, very in-depth conversation. Certainly urge all Mountaineer fans to listen to that if they haven't already done so. But during that conversation, one of the things he talked about when playing in the Boca Raton Bowl, it's nice to be going to South Florida with the way the Mountaineers recruit South Florida. Nothing against Montgomery or Mobile or New Orleans, but it's nice to have that new destination and have it be a place that's recruited so heavily.
That's a great point. And, I think one of the things that really helps, especially when it gets to signing day, App has signed they signed 14 players back on Wednesday, and they signed a lot of guys from big time high schools. Shelby High School has been a place where we've gotten a lot of talent, including this year, and they just won another state championship. Huff High School, we signed 3 players from there. So, that has been something that has become built through relationships with these schools and these coaches. And being here in Florida, I mean, they're practicing at Jupiter High School here in Florida. And so you're right there in front of high school coaches. They're watching practice. They're talking to our guys. It's easy for our coaches and staff to be able to make contact with these high school coaches, just to build those relationships that could, be able to add more depth and inroads toward recruiting. So yeah, playing a game in a place where you do try to recruit a lot of talent is always helpful when it comes to the actual recruiting part of the job.
Diving headfirst into this matchup, and obviously Western Kentucky, runner-up in Conference USA, came up just shy against UTSA. A tremendous comeback there at the Alamo Dome here in the last couple weeks. Bailey Zappi coming over from Houston Baptist, man, what numbers he's put up, over 5,500 yards, 56 touchdowns to 11 picks, 70% completion percentage. And then they have 3 wide receivers who have in excess of 80 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Just mind-boggling numbers for the Hilltoppers. And they're going against an App State defense that's been very solid, 36 sacks and also 15 picks on the back end. So just talk about how you see this matchup, kind of playing out.
Well, that is kind of the matchup that everyone wants to see, is this Western Kentucky offense against App State's defense. App is one of the best defenses against the pass in the country. You mentioned the havoc plays that they create behind the line of scrimmage, and then Western Kentucky is the best passing offense statistically in the country, and Bailey Zappi has got a chance to set the FBS single season records for yards and touchdowns if he has a big game on Saturday. So it's going to be a big challenge, but they've got a good game plan. And, App has always been successful against teams that are one-dimensional, and that's usually when teams are pass heavy. Arkansas State's an example. Troy's an example with the way they played offense over the last couple of years. But this passing offense is a different animal, and what they're able to do. Bailey Zappi is they say, like, he plays like Drew Brees. They're not saying maybe he's as good as Drew Brees, but he plays like Drew Brees. A little bit undersized, but big arm, very accurate, can make all the throws from someone that you don't necessarily think would be able to just based on his makeup. And he gets the ball to his playmakers where he needs to. So incredibly difficult challenge for this App State defense. But the big thing for them is they're just going to try to throw a lot of different looks, confuse the quarterback, confuse the offense in terms of what they're trying to do. And Dale Jones, App State's defensive coordinator, I think one of his strengths as a coordinator is just mixing things up and being very deceptive in the way that App is going to align its defense post-snap.
Yeah, I definitely know Coach Jones will have a lot of exotic pressures and things dialed up for Zappi to do everything they can to be of the bend but don't break variety. Western Kentucky has had to kick 23 field goals and 70 trips inside the red zone, so not bad, but definitely not the best conversion rate there. So that's something that will be definitely of note on Saturday. Kind of on the other side, you mentioned Western Kentucky being one-dimensional offensively. That's something App State is not. They are well-rounded. So I really think that the App State ground attack, tell us about the health of the running back situation and how you see that kind of unfolding.
Yeah, running back, they're in good shape. Cam Peoples is here. Nate Noel is here. They've been practicing. They're full go. Cam was a very active participant in the aforementioned beach volleyball game, so he's feeling great and he's ready to go. the one loss that App does have is Corey Sutton. Corey got hurt in the championship game, and he's not going to be able to play in this bowl game. So that's a huge loss to the passing game. But I think App's biggest thing that they're going to have to do in this game is they're going to have to keep the ball and stay on schedule. You cannot let this game turn into a shootout. You have to limit the possessions that Bailey Zappi and that offense get, and hopefully put them in a position where they're having to press because they know they're not sure how many times they're going to get the ball just because App has been able to maintain possession for so long. So, App's certainly going to take its chances, be aggressive where it can, but they also know that if we're going to be able to win this game in the fourth quarter, we got to have a fresh defense. And in order to do that, we have to try to minimize the number of snaps that they're going to take throughout the game. And to do that, you got to hold on to the ball. You got to convert third downs. You got to move the chains and try to keep Bailey Zappi on the sideline.
And Adam, as we wrap this up, tell us anything of note on the special team side. Obviously, tremendous return man for the Mountaineers and Jalen Virgil. How has Western Kentucky's kick coverage been, and anything else that may stand out on the special team side?
Yeah, I think special teams it's always an area where App tries to make big plays. App is really good in the coverage game, and so that's the hidden yardage that they talk about. So App's going to try to get Western Kentucky to return the ball, and if they can get them positioned behind the 25 or even the 20-yard line, that's just further that the offense has to go. So be on the lookout for the hidden yardage and kick returns for Western Kentucky and how well App can hem that in by playing a lot of talented guys on kick coverage. And then certainly Jalen Virgil has the ability to completely change the game with his kick returning ability. And, we hope he doesn't get too many opportunities because that means that Western Kentucky's scoring a lot. But the more you do give Jalen opportunities, the more chances he's going to have to break one. And, certainly he's been able to do that and change the complexion of a game. So I certainly think kick returns on either side will be a big part of this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Adam, as always, certainly want to respect your time as you're there, enjoying yourself in South Florida, but appreciate you carving some out for us. And we look forward to having you back soon. Best of luck to the Mountaineers, and we wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, right back at you. I appreciate you guys, shining the spotlight on this game and all you do to cover, college sports all across the state of North Carolina. So happy to visit with you guys anytime.